This course shows how to build highly maintainable web applications using Microsoft's ASP.NET MVC framework. But before we get into how to use the framework, let's take a few moments to look at it from a higher level. As the first half of its name indicates, the ASP.NET MVC framework is an extension of Microsoft's mature and powerful .NET framework, particularly the web-related subsection of the .NET framework dubbed ASP.NET. ASP.NET MVC provides an alternative approach to traditional ASP.NET web development, often referred to as web forms, by applying an architectural approach that has proven quite helpful over the years. In fact, the second half of the framework's name is a reference to this architectural pattern. The MVC, or Model View Controller pattern, splits an application into three separate and distinct layers: the model layer, the view layer, and the controller layer, each with a very specific set of responsibilities. The goal of this pattern is that each of these layers can be developed and tested in relative isolation and then combined together to create a very robust and resilient application. If you are familiar with the core ASP.NET framework, then much of the concepts and many of the lower-level APIs we'll be exploring throughout this course will probably seem quite familiar to you. And that's because they are the same exact ones you've already been using. If that's the case, however, I need to warn you not to get too comfortable. Though it shares the same roots with web forms, the ASP.NET MVC approach is very different than what you're used to using, and it's easy to fall back into old habits. So, as you follow along with the course, feel free to look for familiar parts of the framework, but pay close attention to the new ways in which they might be used. If you don't have much experience with the ASP.NET Web Forms framework, don't worry. This course includes everything you need to know in order to start building web applications with ASP.NET MVC. Now, let's move on to the next few videos in which I'll show how to install the prerequisites you'll need in order to get up and running with ASP.NET MVC.